Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Today, we're talking about the Alabama defensive line and the key storylines going into spring ball. But before we go into the video, you know what to do. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We appreciate you more than you know, inching closer to now 60,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. Now, the obvious for the Alabama Crimson Tide defensive line is that they're going to have to find a way to replace defensive tackle Christian Barmore, who had 37 tackles last season, 9.5 sacks in 2020, and who has a potential to be a first-round NFL draft pick later in the draft, according to Mel Kiper. While Alabama has a wealth of depth on the defensive line at the position, they need someone to step up to replace Barmore. It's going to be tough to do, which leads us to our first major storyline, and that is sophomore Tim Smith. Will he be the guy to play an elevated role leading Alabama's interior pass rush for Alabama in 2021? Now, Tim Smith at 6'4", 320 pounds, we saw him spot played last year. And when he came into the game, he played angry. He played with a high motor. And I think overall, he showed that he can play at this high of a level and be very productive early on. I'm surprised that we didn't see him more early on in the season, but when he did get opportunities, we saw him flourish. Now, last season, as just a true freshman, 14 tackles with 2.5 tackles for a loss. We really saw him get onto the field against Arkansas, posted a big play against the Hogs, finishing with 3 tackles, including a tackle for a loss, one which is actually for an 8-yard loss. Then against Florida in the SEC championship game, he recovered a fumble to put the Tide inside the Gator 10-yard line for an eventual Alabama field goal. Against Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl, he had 1 tackle, and against Ohio State in the national championship game, added pressure up the middle and showed that he can get after a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields, which is exciting with him returning to 2021, because I think when you look at the pass rushers overall, Alabama is going to need some of that interior pressure. They got some outside edge rushers, of course, with William Anderson and Chris Allen, and we'll talk about those guys later on in another video, but the interior pass rush needs to be addressed, and I think Tim Smith is going to be that guy. He has A+ size, A+ athleticism, and has the makings to be one of the top interior pass rushers in the SEC, if not the entire nation. So write this name down, Tim Smith, name to know. Now, the second major storyline for the Alabama defensive line is whether or not this is going to be the year of LaBryan Ray, 6'5", 295-pound, now redshirt senior on the defensive line. Now, in 2020, he had an elbow injury, and that limited him to just playing in 7 games. So he was never really a factor during Alabama's national title run, finished out with just 12 tackles. Rewind to 2019 season, he had a foot injury, so he only played in 3 games. So you combine the last 2 seasons, he's only played in 10 games because of some nagging injuries. But in 2018, LaBryan Ray played in all 15 games. He had 39 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks. So I think Alabama fans want to see LaBryan Ray, kind of those flashes of 2018. And if he can get healthy, and he's still playing with the elbow brace, we saw some photos of him within the fourth quarter program. If he can get somewhere close to 100% or close to that, this is going to be the year that LaBryan Ray really has that season, which I think could propel him to be an NFL pick. Now, he has the talent. There's no question about that. It's just, getting him healthy. So you line him up with Tim Smith as an interior pass rusher. We're going to talk about a ton of guys next. That could be another defensive lineman or a rotation of a bunch of guys. And then you have your outside edge rushers. LaBryan Ray could be who we are looking for finally for Alabama's defense this coming season. Other storylines that we're tracking. Alabama's defensive line, I'm telling you, probably the deepest unit out of every single position group at Alabama because of the vets that they return. Phil Mathis, 6'4", 312 pounds, now a redshirt senior. He's played in 40 games total. Last year, 31 tackles in 2020, 5 of those tackles for a loss. You also got DJ Dell returning, 6'3", 307 pounds, now a junior. He's played in 23 games. Last season, 22 tackles during the 2020 season. Recently, Dr. Matt Ray, who works with Alabama's football players regarding the speed aspect, showed some video of DJ Dell, and he looks much more explosive. That's one of the areas that I thought DJ Dell needed to work on. Really good at stuffing the run up the middle, but in pass rushing situations, he's never really a threat. It's not really his game, but it would be good to see him with a little bit more pop, a little bit more explosion. You also have Justin Ebogbe, 6'5", 285 pounds, another junior. Played in a lot of games as well, 23 games played, 19 tackles in 2020. You got LaBryan Ray, who we already talked about, 6'5", 285 pounds. He's a redshirt senior, 31 games played. And then you have Stephon Wynn, who's a 6'4", 310-pound redshirt junior. And then Byron Young, 6'3", 292-pound junior. And then Braylon Ingram at 6'4", 289 pounds, who's a redshirt sophomore. So point is, Alabama has a ton of experience within that group. And I think that Coach Freddie Roach, who coaches the defensive line, this will be his second season at Alabama, will have an opportunity to really keep these guys fresh because of the rotation and I think the quality of depth overall. Look for guys like Justin Ebogbe to really stand out. We talked about DJ Dell. Maybe this will be the year that we see a little bit more from Stephon Wynn, Byron Young, or Braylon Ingram. So plenty of guys to choose from within that group, and I think a lot of guys who bring a good ability to mix and match, whether that's stopping the inside run or providing a little bit of heat from the interior defensive line. We're also tracking second-year players and really the progression that they have. We talked about Tim Smith. He's only going to be a sophomore. But other guys that will be second-year players at Alabama on the defensive line, Jamil Burrows and Jamarian Lathan. I think both of those guys have great size to really stuff the run, but we need to see more of them in game situations, so hopefully we can track their progress during the springtime. Also, you have first-year players. Damon Payne, Monkel Goodwin, Anquin Barnes, Tim Keenan. Damon Payne certainly looks the part coming out as a big-time prospect out of the state of Michigan. Monkel Goodwin, same thing, number one player from the state of Maryland. And then you have Anquin Barnes right here from the home state of Alabama. I think he's vastly underrated. I think he's going to have a good couple of years at Alabama. And then you have Tim Keenan coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, suffered a knee injury. So I'm curious to see where he is health-wise going into this season. I want to hear from you regarding the defensive line. What do you think about this group overall? Are you confident that Alabama has run stuffers, pass rushers within that interior play? Sound off on Tim Smith. We got a chance to see him last year. Were you impressed with his play like I am? And who do you think out of this entire group is going to be a sleeper that is going to really shine this season? Is it going to be possibly one of these freshmen that we just talked about? I want to hear from you inside the comment box. A couple of housekeeping items for the weekend. Alabama football will begin spring practice on Friday, March 19th. And then on Friday, March 20th, Alabama basketball will be in action taking on Iona at 3 p.m. Central Time. We'll have you covered back on BamaInsider.com with a tons of coverage, whether it's football, basketball. We got you covered right here at BamaInsider.com. Definitely hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being with us right here on BamaInsider.com. My name is Kyle Henderson, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Until next time, my friends, catch you on the next video.